Welcome back to Ocala Talks. Let's go right out to the phone lines and talk to the host of the Horse Talk Show, Louisa Barton. Louisa, good morning.
Good morning. A legend in your own mind. It fits perfectly.
It fits perfectly, doesn't it? So you were in the capacity of your job was the host of the Horse Talk Show. You were at Churchill Downs to see an 80-1 shot who didn't even know it was going to get in the Derby until Friday morning, come in and win to the point where even the man calling the race, the legendary announcer calling the race, didn't say the horse's name until it was right across the finish line because he didn't see the horse coming. We're talking about Rich Strike, 80-1 to win the Kentucky Derby, wins the Kentucky Derby. Give us your give us your take on what that finish to that race.
Well, it was breathtaking. It was what Derby dreams are made of, Tom. It was everything that we always hoped to see. For many years, we saw the favorite coming in first, and then that changed, and it just really exciting to see the little guy that picked this horse up for $30,000 in a claiming race from Calumet Farm, who probably stood on watching this race saying, "Wow." His claiming race, he won by 17 3/4 lengths, and has just turned out to be just a phenomenal, feisty stud. And it was incredible to be there and to kind of to see the crowd roar. I think racing needs these sort of stories, and I think when people get to see that 80-1 horse, win the most famous race probably in the world, and to be there at the barn. I was actually on the back side for the race, and Gigi was on the front side, and I was actually in his stall right after the race before he made it back there, and I grabbed his stall guard and stood in his stall and took a picture, and the people in the other side of the barn said, "We were kind of making fun of these people today. We were like, 'You're not going to make it in, you were horse 21, you're lucky to even be here.'" And they were and they're like, "Wow, we're really eating our words because, this horse has just done it." And hats off to Sonny Leone, the Venezuelan jockey who's never won a big stakes race in his life, maneuvering 19 other horses the way he did safely without impeding any other horses or causing an infraction. To do every opening that became available, he found it and went into it. And watching him navigate this horse through the traffic, just an amazing ride. Hats off to his exercise rider, Gabriel Lagunas, who really coached his jockey. This is an exercise rider, actually, who drove 2 hours each way every day to ride this horse for Eric Reed, who also has a great backstory. But just a really great story with all the players involved, and seeing Richie come back and get his bath in the barn and being right there with him, and the excitement of this small operation winning this huge race was just so special.
So we got 5 weeks, 3 races. So the next race for the Kentucky Derby winner is normally the Preakness, because the Triple Crown is still, once you win the Kentucky Derby, the second race, you win it, the Triple Crown's alive. Unprecedented in my memory, Rich Strike has decided to skip the Preakness. Explain that thought.
Well, it hasn't happened since 1982. And in speaking to April Mayberry of Mayberry Farm here in Ocala, who actually started Richie under saddle and in training right here, one of our Marion County claims to fame, I actually had a little chat with April Mayberry last night, kind of wanted to be able to quote her today and really have my facts straight. Yes, the opportunity to win the Triple Crown is phenomenal, but, racing at the moment, I love it. I love horses more than I love racing, but I love racing. And I'm regularly on the backside of the tracks, and I love the people and the horses and the way they take care of the horses and the labor of love that they put in. And a lot of people don't see that. But there's a lot of public out there that don't like racing. And horses are not trained to race back in 2 weeks, especially not after the race of their life that Richie ran. And, to put a horse in, to move a horse to another state, to a different track, that's very different than Churchill, sharper turns, a shorter run. Richie runs well long distance. He is a come from behind when everyone's tired and outrace everybody kind of a horse, and he's proved that. in a couple of different incidences. So the Preakness is not an ideal distance for him. He's got much more chance of winning the Belmont. He's used to racing about every 5 or 6 weeks, not 2 weeks. And in my opinion, this group of people have sat down and discussed this and said, what is the best for the horse? Is this a Triple Crown horse, or is this a long-distance horse that, if we rest up really well, can have the opportunity to win the Belmont? I think they've looked at the health and the safety of the horse. They've probably looked at how he's come out of the Derby, and maybe this is not a quote from anybody, this is a Louisa guess. He may appear to be a little bit tired after that run, and I wouldn't be surprised. It's a lot. So I feel that they've evaluated him. They've decided the Preakness is not the distance for him. They've decided that racing is much more important for racing right now to have a good name than it is to have another Triple Crown win, and it really is. And that obviously has taken a higher priority for them than the glory of the Triple Crown. They'd rather do the right thing for the horse, and I'm 100% behind anybody that's more for the horse than they are for, you know, the obviously the glory of the Triple Crown. And April said she really was in agreement. April Mayberry said she was really in agreement that it was the right thing for the horse, and that she also felt the Belmont was more appropriate for him, the distance and the chance, obviously, of horses tiring in the Belmont, because it's such a long distance, that 1.5 miles. Most of them, you know, will never do that again and have never done that. And obviously he is a distance horse, and he was coming on at the end of the Derby and looked like he could run it all over again. So I don't think the Belmont will be a challenge for this horse, but the Preakness may be. So why wear him out? Why not give him that 5 weeks to recover and give him the best opportunity going forward to be everything he can be for the future? So, and I think that's what matters to these people. They clearly love the horse.
Well, when you look at the horse at the 3/16 part of the race, at 1 mile and 3/16, which is the distance of the Preakness, he was in about 7th place. When he got to the 1.25 miles, though, to win the Kentucky Derby, he was a length ahead, and if he'd have ran 1.5 miles, I think he'd have won by 12 lengths.
Yes, I have to agree with you there. He was coming, and he, as feisty as he was coming off the track, I'd say there would be no problem whatsoever with him going a bit further.
Let's talk for
So,
real quick.
yeah.
We got about 2 minutes left. With the win at the Kentucky Derby, $30,000 claims horse wins 1.8. When I go back and look at his pedigree, one of the names that pops out right at me is 2004 Curlin. So that bloodline looks pretty good. This horse, even if he didn't race another race, would probably bring quite a bit of money as a stud. Am I correct in that?
You are, absolutely, yes. And it's sired by Keen Ice, who also was a distance horse. And Keen Ice was actually the only upset for American Pharaoh after he won the Triple Crown. And Keen Ice outran him, and it was an upset indeed. So, you know, that tells us a lot about him. And certainly he could go to stud and be very valuable, but we would love to see him go on and run in the Breeders' Cup Classic, because I really feel that, you know, he could have a couple races this summer and also run in the Breeders' Cup Classic and very well win that as well. So that would be a nice finish for his year and make him worth even more money. So we certainly hope to go and see him move on and be successful, but I do think that everyone involved is doing the best thing for the horse. And
He seems like one of those throwback horses to the turn of the 19th to 20th century, when they would have those 2 mile and 2.5 mile match races. This horse looks like he could do those without any problem. Louisa Barton is the host of the Horse Talk Show. You can watch it weekly on Facebook, and you can hear it weekly on Equus Television and what is it? Horse Racing Radio? Is that where it's at, Louisa? The three different places.
Television, the Sky 97.3, Odyssey.com, podcast. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Podcast, and also you can hear Louisa in a myriad of places, mainly on Facebook though. If you want to watch it, some funny hijinks happen on her show. It's a good time, and I produced it for her for what, 3 years, Louisa? I think I produced that show for you.
Oh, at least. Yeah.
And now you're Gigi's headache. I mean, you and Gigi do a good job.
Yeah.
Louisa Barton, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Tom, for having me on the show.
We'll be right back at this time out with Linda from the Magnolia Italian Bakery on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Veterans Helping Veterans USA. Call 352-433-2320. We help veterans and their families with limited financial assistance, counseling, employment referrals, and a food and clothing bank. You can help in making a huge difference in the veterans' lives we serve by donating food, clothing, household items, or direct financial assistance. All donations are tax deductible. Veterans Helping Veterans USA. 352-433-2320. Thank you for your attention, and God bless America.
Attention passengers for Flight 1370. The plane has been delayed at its departure point and will be at least 2 hours late. We apologize for any inconvenience.
Are you serious? It took us over an hour to get here, 2 hours going through security and getting our tickets, and now we have to wait another 2 hours.
Yeah, it's beautiful here, but we're inside this overcrowded airport all day because the plane is stuck in bad weather.
This is the last time we ever do this. When we get back, we're going to Ocala Aviation and getting our pilot's license.
Yeah, we've been talking about that long enough. It's about time we did it. Then we could just fly ourselves and never have to deal with this mess again.
Right. No long lines, no full body groping security, no baggage checks.
Not to mention never losing your luggage. Remind me again why we haven't done that?
Well, we're idiots.
Oh, right.
Attention all passengers for Flight 1370. It looks like the plane is going to be delayed a little bit longer. The airline has lost the pilot's luggage. Isn't it time you got your pilot's license? Call Ocala Aviation today. 352-861-7484. That's 352-861-7484. Hey, you've earned it. Call today.